Hey, what's up, guys? I know it's been a long time, a very long time. I'm alive, I'm well, and I just had my birthday yesterday. I just turned 40 on December 2nd. Today is December 3rd, and check me out, guys. You might think this is somewhere in Kenya, maybe, until you see this architecture. Check out the architecture. Certainly not Kenya. I am in Cuervo, New Mexico. Now, for my non-American followers, that might confuse you as well. So for your information, New Mexico is one of the 50 states. It's not Mexico, it's New Mexico. And this is a ghost town that I learned about at the information center when I reached the border of New Mexico. And I just had to check it out. Here's a ranch, Latigo Ranch. Now, it's New Mexico, right? So, I mean, the names and everything here they are super Spanish. And, totally different culture than, you know, where I grew up. I grew up in Missouri, North of Kansas City. When I'm in the US, I'm in southeast Oklahoma, just north of Dallas, which in some ways Oklahoma is reminiscent of this topography that we're seeing, but this is definitely different and unique, and it's beautiful. I'm not going all the way down this road. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but that road, it just stretches and stretches. This is a ranch, and the gate was open. I don't even know if it's legal for me to be here, but you know, it's America, right? So the worst that could happen is somebody would spot me and say, hey buddy, you can't be out here. Check this out right in front of me. There's an interstate in front of me. That interstate would lead you to Oklahoma and Texas, but it also leads you deeper into New Mexico, which is where I'm going. I'm going to Albuquerque. So I am entering New Mexico today, and I'm just sightseeing and appreciating my country. That's what it's all about. And let me say, I grew up in the 90s when life was very different and TV was the premier entertainment source. And I watched a lot of country music television when I was like 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. And a lot of that country music and cowboy culture exists out here, and it was depicted on a lot of those music videos. So I've always had this intrigue about this part of the country, you know. So this is what I'm doing for myself, what I'm gifting myself for my 40th birthday. Now, here's an inhabited house over here. Check it out. Regular old house, not big, but there's a satellite dish and a fence, and it looks like somebody probably lives there. Looks like a little greenhouse too. They might be growing marijuana. This is a legal marijuana state, I assume. It's medical and recreational.
Wait, hold up.
3 days later.
So last night in Albuquerque, I was dumping off my memory card from the camera here because I had filled it up. I had a vlog from Malindi to Nairobi to Istanbul to Dallas that I hadn't offloaded yet. And then I filled up the rest of it with my Albuquerque trip. And in the beginning, I stopped in Cuervo, New Mexico. And just my luck, half of the footage did not focus. So I stopped again, guys. And this time I'm gonna go on both sides of the highway. I realized that this town was essentially split in two by the interstate behind me. You guys see that interstate behind me, right? And right here, I cannot make out the header of this building. Maybe this is the church I was told about. I was told that there's a church out here, and that if I was lucky, I would find somebody to open it for me. But apparently, the door's wide open. So somebody knocked this door down a long time ago. I'm gonna take a little peek. Hello, hello. Wow. I mean, they've got cement here. A really old, like 1950s stove. It looks like at some point somebody was here working. And life just stopped, you guys. Life just stopped. And that's so fascinating to me. Like, how does that happen? You know, at some point, people just give up on whatever vision they may have had. Straight out the back door, there's the old water well. And that looks like the original water well. Wow. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Could have been a government building. Maybe it was the church. I don't know, but I will go ahead and get on out of here. So Cuervo, it looks like some abandoned structures over there. We'll cruise over there and see what's going on. And I see a house over there that looks like, it's still being lived in, perhaps. But I'll tell you what, truckers are stopping over there still. There are signs along the highway for food and fuel, but literally none of that exists anymore. There are no open businesses. So let's take a little lap through Cuervo, and then we'll get back on that highway. Now this intersection, you can tell this used to be functioning on both of these corners on either side. Surely there were businesses right here. And now you just got truckers stopping to catch some rest. We're going back to the south side of the highway where I originally filmed Cuervo, because the footage came out like crap, you guys. And I am due for a camera upgrade. This thing has been through a lot, it's seen a lot, and it does give me headaches. But we're going to fix the problem by at least coming back over here and kind of doing a bit of a redo on the footage. So I showed you guys all of this, but this time, let me show it to you better. This whole strip of businesses here just up and shut down. Everything. That was a grocery, according to the painting on the side of the building. People used to really come there to buy food. I was looking at this sweet 1980s something car over here. That was pretty awesome back in the day. And then right there you see the car up on the lift. That was a mechanic shop. And they didn't finish the job, that's for sure. A whole storefront there. They say no parking. I don't know why it matters, but some people do get territorial like that, so it is what it is. Look at this one. Gutted out. Windows are gone. Graffiti. People have stopped there, obviously, but I wouldn't want to sleep there because it would be cold for sure. Now check this out. Cuervo gas. And I was here the other day. We got Tony's Wrecker Service. There's still a lot of cars here. Property. So I'm thinking someone is still connected to this area, surely. They surely didn't leave all the vehicles just parked, but then again, you never know. You know, guys, sometimes people just die, and whatever's left is left behind until someone else buys it. It'll all sit here and rot. So this is the old gas station, or some people would call filling station. They got a sign there that says bathrooms non-customer $2. So if you wanted to use their toilet, you got to pay them $2. We got a house here that looks like someone might live here, unless they just abandoned it like that. But there's a newer car under the carport, so I don't know. It looks like someone could still be here. And pretty new truck with a trailer. Looks like a farmer trailer. They got hay in it. And a junkyard, of course. You know, can't have a roadside gas station and mechanic shop without a junkyard. TITA for gold. Okay, Tita. Here's your junkyard, the Great American Scrapyard. All this stuff just left behind. You can only imagine all the miles traveled. Look at that wrecked SUV right there. That's nasty. And they just dumped it on its side. That's Cuervo with a windmill in the background. I got that house on camera nice and clean. They got him a windmill. It's not blowing. It probably doesn't work anymore. That's like a really old part of American pasture life, country life, having a windmill. So, still no traffic at all on this road. Nobody's coming to Cuervo. It looks like it goes on down. Who knows where, really. I'm not gonna go all the way down there. I don't think it's probably worth the journey. So, we'll flip it around. Once again, no parking signs. Like, is it that serious? No parking, no parking. They don't want anybody parking here. It's interesting. So, I did read online that the town officially lost establishment about 15 years ago, around 2012. They still have a zip code, so that means they got post office boxes. So I'm curious how many of these boxes actually have residents, but by the number of boxes, it does suggest that there's a little bit of life still around here, which we looked at the other day. That one house there on the right looks like it's probably still lived in. But anything else right next to it looks absolutely abandoned. So, other than the ranch, Latigo Ranch, that we kind of rode down towards the other day. Still got an owner there. Private property signs, whatnot. So fascinating how life just ends in a place. Alright guys, back on the other side of the highway. What I'm gathering is this side was probably the primary side of the town because there's a little bit more structure. The other side is just a small little strip of road that runs right on the highway. So check this out. This is the epitome of what you call a shotgun house. Nothing to do with a shotgun, per se. It's the fact that the wind would blow straight through the cracks of the wood. And this is the very old day style of constructing a house. Look at the old bed mattress. There's a blanket. You know, some homeless person, what they call a vagrant, a traveling homeless, must have slept here at one time, but good God, you won't get warm. There's the old chimney. Look at it, guys. That's pretty wild. My family grew up in houses like this in North Missouri. Old rural poverty homes. So we're gonna stroll on around a little bit more. It's not so cold now, thank God. So I have a little relief from that. We'll check out this little structure, then we'll get back in the car, go around the corner, and see what's going on with these other houses around here. This thing is rough, buddy. This looks like a couple guys just got some wood and hammers and nails and went crazy. It has the shape of a storage container house, but it's all wood and graffiti on the inside. Let me get a little peek. Good God, this thing fell down a long time ago. They always say about these old places, if these walls could talk, how many stories they would have to tell. You can only imagine how many people saw that place like that, from the ones that might have lived there to the travelers that stopped along the way. I'm a tourist in my own country right now. God willing, I'll be doing so much more of this. We have such a vast nation here, and I'm proud to be part of it. And I've been to over 30 states. For those of you who don't know, I'm a career photographer. And between photography and adventure, I've traveled a lot, you guys. I've seen a lot of my country. But when I was doing those things, vlogging was not a thing yet. You know, YouTube was not such a staple in our culture yet, in the creative world yet. So I did photography when I would travel, but I never took film, you guys. You know what I like about film is it just brings things to life. I know a lot of people piss and moan. I said that last night. Someone didn't know what I meant. Piss and moan just to complain. A lot of people complain that we never showed this side of America, but that's not true. There are many vloggers that are doing this, and I plan to be one of them too. I plan to show you guys Albuquerque, the city, the cosmopolitan city by the mountain. And now I'm getting back on the highway in that direction, by the way. Check it out. There we go. We're off. So, just like that, roadside town, dead. I didn't see a single human to ask questions. But I have every intention of showing you guys everything that intrigues me about my country. And it's not all about the cosmopolitan lifestyle. It's not about the fancy buildings. It's about the history and the culture that people say America doesn't have. That's such bullshit. But I am intrigued deeply by history, not just the facts and figures of history, but the aesthetics of history. Because like I said a few minutes ago, what I think about when I observe history is all of the life that was lived. And turning 40, I spent many days leading up to my birthday just sitting back and saying, wow, I have lived so much life. And it truly knocks my socks off. It blows my mind. It bewilders me. Because in that life you live, there's so many triumphs. There's so many failures. You know, there's so many laughs, there's so many tears, there's so much life lived. So when I look at the historical parts of the world, whether it's Kenya or right here on Interstate 40 in the east side of New Mexico, that's what I think about. You know, babies were born, babies were made, dinners were cooked, baths were taken. You know, people moved in and got their keys, and they were excited about the new chapter in their life. People packed their bags and got the hell out of town. Right? It intrigues me so much. And let me just show you. There's that great American train. Just like Kenya. You know, these trains are the foundation of modern society, for better or for worse. And I won't go too deep into narratives about the dark side of trains, or perhaps opposition of trains being introduced. That's a topic for another day. But without those trains, we wouldn't have most of what we have. Where I grew up in north central Missouri, it's just an old railroad town. Kansas City, where I created Matt Diamond Photography and Matt Diamond Flix, 10 good years in Kansas City, is a bustling, metropolitan, cosmopolitan, ghetto, suburban railroad town. And it is one of the biggest, most established railroad intersections, depots in the entire United States, because it sits right in the middle of the United States. So I hope you guys like this. I think you will. I'm confident you will. I'm excited to show you different things, and to show you things from my country, and to show you things from states that I'm not from, states that I've never been or barely been into, like New Mexico. Until today, I had barely seen this state about 10 years ago. So here we are. It's super exciting for me. And enjoy the ride, you guys. There's so much more coming. I look forward to sharing with you. I apologize for my absence. I promise I have good reason, and it all makes sense. And the result of all those good reasons is going to be more content for you guys, and more content for me to live through. And that's what I want to do more than anything in my life right now. So, until the next one, peace and love, New Mexico, USA.